session as time progresses. So hello everyone, my name is Basha Ferdinand. I am the Accelerator Program Manager here at Tampa Bay Wave, and we also just want to thank you all for participating today. And with that being said, it's my great honor to welcome Commissioner Murman, as well as Lindsay Kimball on our call today. Commissioner Murman reached out to us about this new program that's coming out, and we're very excited to offer this to our members and our community as well. So just a high level of Commissioner Murman, she was elected in 2010, and she is one of the longest standing commissioners with more accomplishments than we have time to mention. But it's clear she's a true champion of small businesses, startups, and entrepreneurs. And she not only helped establish the ECC and EBOR, but she's also been a longtime supporter of the WAVE. She's also a strong advocate for growing our region's economy through job creation and workforce development, including her support of Career Source and many other job creation programs. So Commissioner Murman, thank you so much for your time with us today, as we're excited to learn more about this new Hillsborough County program to provide important relief during these challenging times. So with that being said, the floor is now yours.
Thank you, Basha. And it's, she kind of gave my intro, so it's really good. Listen, it's small business, entrepreneurs, startups, they're the lifeblood of our economy in Hillsborough County. And I'm going to do everything I can to help all those businesses out there, the startups. I'm going to help them to grow and prosper. I know somewhere out there we have a Steve Jobs and a new Apple that will merge and make Hillsborough County famous in the small business world. But no, it's about providing jobs, a great quality of life for all of our residents. And I just thank the WAVE. I've been so amazed at what they've done over the years. And I've watched them grow from, from infancy, actually, to just a very flourishing, mature organization that is serving so many startups. It's a list almost too long. But today we want to bring you, and I wanted all the your members and budding companies to hear about our R3 program and learn about that and see if it's something that can help them as they're growing to be in their mature business world. We actually we received about $256 million in CARES Act money in about 2 months ago. And if, that's a lot of money. So we actually portioned it out to serve in different areas. I say it's like 2 buckets of, we looked at life safety and business recovery and business expansion. So that's really what you're going to hear from Lindsay Kimball today. She's our director of our whole business development section at the county, and she just does an outstanding job. There is no business too small in Hillsborough County that we can't help, either through our Entrepreneurship Collaborative Center or through the R3 program, or just coming in to visit with or through Zoom right now through one of our counselors. And I know this, I would rather be talking face to face, eyeball to eyeball on this program. Know that we still have a health crisis in our community with the COVID virus. But we will emerge from that. We're going to be stronger. We're going to fight hard to really keep our economy growing and moving forward. So with that, I will turn it over to Lindsay Kimball.
Great, thank you, Commissioner, and thank you all for spending time with us today. I know that time is very precious to small business owners and entrepreneurs, so appreciate you guys giving us some of your time today. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. I've got a really brief presentation that I wanted to run through with you guys. Let's get that started here. All right. So as Commissioner Murman said, we do have the Economic Recovery Financial Assistance Program for small businesses. And our purpose of this program is we wanted to fill the gaps that were left, particularly for our smallest of the small businesses, for disadvantaged small businesses that were left behind by the federal programs, the PPP, the EIDL loans, other SBA programs, as well as our state program, which just didn't have very much funding at all, but missed a lot of our small businesses. So we wanted to make sure that we were able to plug that gap with the CARES Act allocation that we were given. One thing I want to also emphasize is that this program is available countywide, so it doesn't matter what municipality you're in, where you're located, as long as you're within Hillsborough County. We want to help you. This program is here to help those small businesses, so there's no restrictions on location. So we have 3 different programs under our Small Business Assistance Program for those affected by COVID-19. And applicants have to choose one benefit. So we're not, we have 3 options, but each business must choose the right option for them based on their situation. And I'll walk through a little bit quickly about how to understand the programs and decide which one is the right one for you. So we have the Kickstart Small Business Program. That's pretty much our most popular program so far. The program has been open for 4 weeks now, and by far 80% of folks are applying for the Kickstart Small Business Program. It provides money to help businesses affected by COVID-19 for any number of working capital needs. Could be to pay the rent, make payroll, buy inventory, keep operations, keep the lights on, anything related to that. Our second program there is the Back to Work program. That's focused on employers who, and we're using the May 1st date as a start date. So any employee that's been brought back on since May 1st, if you're one of those companies maybe that has a large employee count, this program might be right for you. And finally, we have the Safe at Work Matching Grant Program, which is for what we anticipate to be our larger small businesses would want to utilize this program. It would be for those businesses who have spent a significant amount of money on maybe internal improvements to modify their facilities to account for COVID-19, for safety measures, also for personal protective equipment for employees, and other items related to having to modify your business to deal with the COVID-19 crisis. So of course there's some general eligibility qualifications. We have everything I just want to say is on our website, and I'll share that website in big bold letters at the end of this presentation to find it. But some really basic ones, obviously located in Hillsborough County, have to be in business for at least, since at least March 1st of 2019, have to be a for-profit entity, and obviously not a publicly traded company. So this is for small businesses in Hillsborough County who are obviously not publicly traded. And other eligibility and qualifications. So obviously you should be legally registered with the state with sunbiz.org, be in good standing with Hillsborough County, no disqualifying criminal or financial mismanagement or any liens held by Hillsborough County, and of course not associated with any of businesses like gambling or adult entertainment. So to get into a little bit more of the Kickstart Small Business, each one of our programs has a revenue cap on them. So Kickstart Small Business has been the most popular, and it's for businesses who have up to $3 million in revenue. So that's gross revenues, your top line sales number. And it's to provide, as I said, that immediate infusion of capital. The amount of financial assistance depends, it's gauged by the number of employees that you have. So unlike a lot of the programs that local communities have stood up, our program does apply to sole proprietors. We do accept sole proprietors in the program. And so if you're a sole proprietor or have 2 or less employees, you're eligible for $7,500 in the Kickstart Small Business Grant. And if you have 2 or more employees, that amount goes up to $10,000. The next program, the Back to Work program, it's an incentive designed to help businesses who are hiring I would say, maybe they're a very employment heavy business, like maybe a manufacturer or some kind of service industry where you had a lot of folks who you were able to bring back after that May 1st date. You can be reimbursed up to $2,000 for each employee that was rehired since May 1st. So it's a reimbursement against the amount of salary that was paid to that worker. And it's for businesses that are larger than the businesses available are eligible under the Kickstart Small Business Program. This is for businesses that have up to $20 million in revenue. So it's casting a much larger net, because we crafted this program to say, what is the incentive that we would want to give to slightly larger, mid to large size small businesses? And the incentive there is, we want to encourage and help support the rehiring of our residents. And what's important to note here is there's no maximum employee amount. So you'll notice the Kickstart Small Business would max out at $10,000. If you brought back 20 people under the Back to Work program, you could get a $40,000 incentive. Okay. And the third one is the Safe at Work matching grant. And as I said, this is anything that you had to do to reconfigure, fund PPE, fund safety and sanitation. Could be training for the employees. It doesn't have to be a physical thing. It could be you had to train employees to deal with the coronavirus crisis. And this again is for a slightly larger group of companies. So this would be for 20 million or less in annual revenue. And it matches 1-to-1 up to $10,000 for actual expenses related to those items that I described. Okay, so the application process, everything is online, everything, we've streamlined it as much as we can. We have a phased application process, but the good news is today is that we are already in full access, so you don't have to worry about any of these phases anymore. Every business is eligible at this point. And this is what our full access application criteria look like for each one of the programs. So I know this is it's a busy chart because we've got a lot of we've got the 3 programs and the various criteria, but to simplify it, if you look down the row or the column that has Kickstart Small Business, we're looking at a business with annual revenues under 3 million. They could be either forced to close, deemed non-essential, or if you were deemed essential, because we've got lots of essential businesses who might be technically they were called essential, they still were hurt. They still had customers that didn't want to come out. They had loss of work because people didn't want them coming to their homes and maybe, for example, doing repairs and so forth. So they were still economically injured. So we're defining that essential business but economically injured as one who had a reduction of revenue of 25% or greater. That's the way that we're able to determine the economic damage. And if you're wondering where a lot of these qualifications and standards and came from and so forth, because we are dealing with federal money, we had to utilize those requirements that come with that federal money. So for example, having to be very specific about the tie, obviously, to COVID-19 impacts. We have to make sure that it was either forced to close, deemed non-essential, or that we can quantify a real economic impact. So that's the reason for that. And the business location, again, as I said, now we're in full access application mode. It's anybody in any Hillsborough County city or unincorporated area. And again, we have the planned funding across the periods. I can tell you right now, we currently, I checked this morning, we have about 6,000 draft applications in already. We that equates to about 25 million calls on our funding, but we have $100 million in our funding pot. So we are running this program through December or until we run out of funds. So it's not to make anyone panic that we're going to quickly run out. I think at the beginning of the program there was a real quick rush, and we felt that at the beginning of the program. We were hit with about 2,500 applications in the first week, because that's just what had happened in the other communities around our country, right? We saw even in our region, we saw programs getting overwhelmed in the first 30 minutes and shutting down and running out of money in 2 hours. So we wanted to be purposeful and make sure that we did not have that happen. Not only were we blessed that we were able to have the allocation that we received from the Board of County Commissioners, but we also purposefully made the program run in these phases so that we wouldn't have a run on the bank all up front. So right now, like as I said, we have 6,000 applications, and somewhere on the spectrum from draft to completed and paid. But all told, that's a call of about $20 million of the $100 million. So, you know, I do want you to have a sense of urgency to get your application in, but I also don't want you to feel that if you don't do it in the next 15 minutes, we're going to run out of money. So, you know, take that for what it is. You know, I didn't want to be engendering a sense of panic right now. And again, here is the probably the most important piece of information I can leave with you today is the website where you can find more information. So we've got the hcflgov.net/R3biz, and I'm happy to share this PowerPoint with our friends at the Tampa Bay Wave so they can push it out to everybody. We also have stood up an economic recovery support line. You can see the 1-800 or 888 number there, toll-free number, and that's available from Monday through Friday from 8 to 6 p.m. We have people on staff there who can help you walk through the application process, get registered, and answer your questions. Also in the online portal, we have a lot of really good information that you know, I think you'll want to look over if you're interested in the program. We have a ton of comprehensive frequently asked questions list. We have about 100 frequently asked questions. We have very, very detailed, specific information on each one of the programs, including what documents you should assemble before you log on and start to apply. Even though I just want to point out that if you start to apply, you've got your name and your address, your business name in there, and then maybe you get called away because of business, you can always save the application and come back to it. It's not a one and done kind of process. So you can certainly do your application in steps, but if you want to look at the qualifications and some of the documents you'll need to attach, like very important is if you have employees, your 941 form, a W-9, your latest tax return and whatever structure that is for how your business is structured. But like I said, on the website, we walk through all that with you. We also have some good videos that give some tips and tricks and some common pitfalls maybe that we're seeing with the application. I can tell you right now from the applications that I've reviewed and what I've heard from our reviewers, the most common error is just not attaching the documents that we need to verify your eligibility. So like I said, they're pretty standard, you know, your tax return, driver's license, W-9, and if you have employees, we ask for the latest 941 form. And then we're just cross-referencing all that information with SunBiz. So the most common thing is that folks just are in a hurry and maybe they just forget to attach a document, and we then have to we'll return that to you, give you an opportunity to correct it, and then we'll continue with the review process. So that is, I believe that's the end there. And we also have some other webinars that we've done and Q&A sessions that we've taped and we have available on the website as well. And I'm always happy to answer any questions now or in the future. I'll share my email address with our hosts from the Tampa Bay Wave as well. And with that, I'll turn it back over to Commissioner Murman. Thank you.
Thank you, Lindsay. And we're going to be open for questions. I do want to tell everybody you can be a sole proprietor and qualify and be able to apply for the funds. And also, unlike if anybody got a PPP fund from the federal government, this is not like that. This is not a loan. This is a totally separate program. Those are some of the questions you'll see. Maybe home-based businesses, they apply. And I know that a lot of companies with the Wave, they are just getting started. They might be home-based, sole proprietors, whatever it is. I think that's why I wanted to reach out, because I think probably most everybody will qualify. So let's go ahead and move to questions. And Basha, you're going to monitor that and ask the questions, right?
Hi, Commissioner Murman.
Oh,
Yeah, this is Isaac. I'm an intern at Tampa Bay Way. Hello, everyone.
yeah.
I'm going to monitor this
Okay,
question coming through right now. So let's see. One of the first questions we had was to clarify, businesses have to make $40,000 annually to qualify.
I want to ask you a question. What did I do?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, that was from April. Another question we have is, when will this open for nonprofits?
How did I do it?
Right. So this program is not was not written for nonprofits. However, I know that the county team, Commissioner, I know Carl Harness and Ron Barton and Bonnie and Tom Fessler have been working on crafting the scope of a program for nonprofits. But this particular program for small businesses will not was not designed for nonprofits. But I know that my colleagues are working on a program.
Right. It should be maybe in the next month or so. We've already had several requests from nonprofits for assistance. Most of them already do business with the county, and that may be, I don't know what the specifications are going to be of the application, but I would say just stay tuned and we'll make sure that people, all of you at the Wave, know when that comes out. But we will have some funding available for nonprofits.
Okay, great question. Another question we have from Raquel is, approximately how long after the application does it take for the completion for everything to be finalized?
Great. So great question. Thank you. Let's say we receive a completed application with all of the the right documents attached. There's no questions from any of the reviewers about anything. So a completed application, I would say it would take about 2 weeks to get through the process. Some are moving faster than that. It all depends on the volume and where things are in the queue. But generally it takes about 2 weeks, and then we send it over to what's called our clerk's office, and they do cut the check directly from there, so the check can be mailed to you. And their check process runs about 7 to 10 working days. They are expediting. They've committed to the county to expedite the payment process for us. So it's a long story, but short answer is, if it's a completed application, it's probably 3 to 4 weeks to get paid.
Okay. Another question we have from Carrie is, if we have 2 locations but 1 owner, do we submit 1 or 2 applications? The app only asks for 1 address.
That's a really good question, Carrie. That's great. So what we are determining an individual business based on the EIN number, the TIN number, or if you're a sole proprietor and you're using your social security number, then we're using the social security number as your identifier. So if the 2 restaurant or business locations are operating under the same EIN or TIN, we would count that as 1 application. And whatever you list as your principal address in SunBiz, that should be the address that you use on your application. And then we have this too, where companies have the same, one group will own multiple companies. So each company is looked at on its own merit. So if you have 2 locations and they have different TINs or EINs, whatever you're using, then we would treat those as 2 separate applications. I hope that helps.
Great. And Carrie also asked, for the back to work stream, is there a maximum total dollar amount?
No.
Okay.
We want you to hire everybody in Hillsborough County.
Hire everybody.
Hire away.
Another county-related question that actually came from a coworker who couldn't make it onto this call was asking about if Pinellas County companies are eligible. Just wanted to reference that.
No.
Hillsborough
No.
County.
Right. This is just for Hillsborough County.
I mean, if they have a subsidiary or another business in Hillsborough County, would they apply?
So it's based on the principal location of business.
Oh, okay.
So it doesn't matter. So let me just clarify. So it wouldn't matter if I own a business and it's located on Del Mabry, but I live in Clearwater, I'm eligible because my business is on Del Mabry. I hope, does that kind of help too? So yeah. If but if your business is located on 4th Street, then you wouldn't be eligible for this program.
Okay. And then just to recap, what is the best way for any of us in the audience to reach back out for further questions? I think you mentioned it earlier, but just to recap.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. So the best way is to go to our website, www.hcflgov.net/R3biz. And from there, you can also get links to our Entrepreneur Collaborative Center. I think some folks are familiar with that in Ybor City. Our business consultants there are able to help you, as well as I said, you can find on our website our call center number, toll-free number available Monday through Friday. And if anybody has any questions, you can always email me. I'm happy to field the question or to get it to the right person on my team.
Great.
And the deck, all the information that she just said will be in the deck that is given out to everybody that's on the call and the other members of Tampa Bay Wave.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much, Lindsay and Commissioner Murman. That's it for questions that I see in the chat. If anyone wants to chime in verbally, if you have any other questions.
I just wanted to add one thing too. We, as I said, there were two buckets. One was life safety, the other is business recovery. In the life safety bucket, we also are using some funding from the CARES Act dollars to help people with their rent, their mortgage payments, and whatever. I know there's many sole proprietors, small business owners who are struggling right now personally. This money could not be used for your business. That's what Lindsay's shop does. But in our social services department, they're doing the life safety bucket. And they are rolling out August 3rd, which is next week. They'll be rolling out their separate program to help people. And it'll be the same process, applications. Actually, it's running through the same company we're using for the R3 program. But if people are personally devastated and need assistance, there is also help for that.
Yeah.
That's great. Thank you very much, Commissioner Murman. This concludes today's webinar, but again, if you all have any follow-up questions, you know how to reach them, and you can also reach us directly at the Wave, and a slide deck of this presentation will be shared with you all.
That's great.
Yeah.
Thank you all.
Yes, thank you for taking time out of your day.
Feel free to contact us if you have any questions. That's great.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you all for your time.
Yep. Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.